Okay, so this is the Sausage Sports Club Weekly Update. Do this every week for a few reasons. One, I think it's useful for students and new developers to see what it's like to make a commercial game. It's a resource I feel like I didn't have, and I want to kind of pay it forward. Two is the obvious marketing reason. If I talk about the game more and show it, and people see it, it's going to do better. More people will know about it. Three is kind of a archival for myself, where in 5 or 10 years I want to be able to look back on this project and actually remember what happened and how I felt about the project. So that's and also art have a record of my design process and development process and see when specifically I learned what and how I learned it. I think will be cool. And then the last one is sometimes people will come into chat while I'm working on something and be like, "Oh, that's a weird way of doing it. Why don't you do it like this?" And then I'll learn some new development technique or whatever, and that's really cool. So that's why I do it. This week was kind of a slow week in some ways and a really huge week in other ways. I mostly just fixed bugs this week. As far as tangible work on the game, I mostly just fixed bugs. As I mentioned in previous weeks, or last week, I guess, kind of doing a format change where instead of going over the minute details of what bugs I fixed and just running down that list as I have before, I just want to keep it more high level and talk about generally what's going on with the game, what type of bugs, rather than specifically going through each bug. So this week specifically was all minor bug fixes. I didn't fix any game breaking bugs. It was all just little things, and I'm not going to go through it, but the kind of thing that there was sometimes light maps would look weird, or music wouldn't start playing at the right time, stuff like that. So it's just super minor stuff. Also, a big thing that happened this week is I changed my shipping plan a little bit. Previously, I had said on Twitter, I feel like I'm really close. I'm getting ready to announce a release date. And that's still true. It is really close and it is ready to release. But I basically was getting scared as E3 got closer and closer that my release date was going to be too close to E3, and that pre-E3 announcements or fake leaks or whatever from the big companies were going to drown out any chance I had of press or YouTubers paying attention to the game. And so once it finally got back to my the closest I was willing to release to E3, I realized I needed to talk to more people who knew more than I did to see if this was a really bad idea. So I asked all my friends in the Chicago indie scene, hey, is this too close to E3? What's an appropriate time to release a game without overlapping E3, since I'm basically done right now? And literally all of them said right now would be a terrible time. E3, if I released, the date I wanted was the end of May basically, and if I released then, it would come out and then E3 would happen, and any kind of momentum or hype that would happen for the game would just go away with E3. Oh, thanks, William. Thanks for the host. And welcome everybody else. For people who are new, if anybody just joined, this is the weekly update I do for my game Sausage Sports Club. The game is a physics game about floppy animals that play sports. I'm trying to think. I don't really want to show a trailer or anything, but I could. I'll just pop open the game, and that'll at least be in the background while I'm talking. For context, for anybody that's new, I do this weekly update every week where I talk about what's going on with the game, what's coming up with the game, how I'm feeling about it, and I do it as a thing to help students learn. I do it as a way to market. I do it as a tool, like an archival tool for my process, so that I can look back on the game and see how it is, or how it was developed 5 years from now or whatever. And and sometimes people come in chat and teach me new things I didn't know. So those are the reasons I do it. And this, as I've already said, like this week I've done bug fixes and changed my plan a bit to ship. So going through this list, like I said, the build was 99% shippable. I was about to send it to Nintendo, and then I asked for feedback from my friends in the Chicago indie scene. They all said, wait until after E3. You're gonna like blow all your momentum, or everyone's just gonna ignore the game because of E3. So now the game is gonna ship in July, which is the closest like time that won't be affected by E3. Oh boy, the hub path is messed up. Totally unsurprising, but I forgot. Cool, yeah, so for anybody new, this is the game. You're just like, in adventure mode at least, you're in this big kind of open world. There's lots of physics objects and toys to play with, and other characters you can go on quests and talk to. So that's like the briefest overview of the game. And I'm gonna do a playthrough of the game once I finish like explaining what happened this week. So, so yeah, at first this kind of like pushing back to July really sucked, and I was like sad about it that I had put all this work in to try to finish the game when I wanted to ship it when I wanted to, and many times I've had to push back the like expected release date because the game was bigger than I expected, or some like marketing event like took up my time, so I couldn't do the work I expected to be able to do. And this time was like, no, this is it. I have all the time I need. I'm going at the pace I need to go to. And then I just didn't really take into account like E3 is, you know, the biggest game event every year, and everybody's attention goes to that. And if you release a game right before E3, then any attention you might be able to get leading into that just goes away. Everybody forgets. So at first I was sad about that, but over the course of this week, like thinking about it more, I realized this is great because I can fix bugs, I can add all the Steam features like achievements and trading cards, and really all the PC like settings menu stuff that I haven't gotten to yet. And I'll show that when I don't know if I could show it here. Yeah, this is just the stuff that'll show up on Switch. But I want a real PC settings menu with all the resolution and like quality settings and stuff like that. I don't have it yet because I knew I would have time after I finish the Switch build to do that stuff. So I'll be able to do that. I have more time to like actually prepare and plan marketing stuff. Like a trailer, if I really have to rush it, will still take me like pretty much a week between planning and actually like capturing footage and cutting it and everything. And that's if it's like one pass at the trailer and I don't get to do it again or get feedback and iterate on it. But now, if it's not until July, I can just like iterate on a trailer as long as it needs, basically. And then now I can also announce a release date more than a week before. If it was the date I wanted before, I would basically be announcing it like right around now, maybe on Monday or something, and that's like very little time to actually like, I don't know, get people to hear about your thing. And I like wouldn't be able to send out review codes for the Switch version until like right before, so that would be pretty terrible. So that's pretty much where it's at. Or I should say that's what this week has been, like what I've been doing, bug fixes, what I've been thinking about, this kind of change of shipping. And then tonight, after this playthrough, if I find bugs, I'll try to fix the bugs, and then if I don't find bugs, then I'm just going to send the build to Nintendo, and that will be hopefully the shipping Switch version. So yeah, so that's what's going on. That said, I'm just gonna open my current like beta version or whatever on Steam and just play through it. probably closer to July. Musical, I haven't looked into the actual pre-order setup process yet. I'll probably do that this week. But I would like to get that up like mid to late June, since pre-orders on Switch won't hurt its place around the store, because I don't really expect the game to be on the like top sellers ranking list, and they don't have like a features thing, so it's not gonna, having pre-orders up won't hurt me there. On Steam, I'm not gonna do pre-orders because the like top sellers list or whatever is directly affected by how your game sells in the first, I don't know, like the first few hours. I don't want to like mess that up by having pre-orders. Tom still, the price will be $15 on both Switch and Steam. And maybe I'll do a 10% discount at launch. That seems to be a thing. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna open a notepad doc also, so I can record if stuff goes wrong. Okay. So this is the settings menu I was talking about. There's like a few more options than you saw on the Switch version, like resolution, window mode, VSync. That stuff's all not available on the Switch because it's like fixed. I also want to add quality settings, like change like your shadow resolution, and whether you have anti-aliasing, and whether you have like different image effects, kind of stuff. There's one, ambient screen space ambient occlusion makes the game look really nice, but it's like, that's really costly, especially on Switch, so I can't really afford it on Switch, so I want to have that toggle as an option. Or on PC, if you want to make the game look like extra super nice, that's totally fine. So this volume is too loud over my voice. Thank you. How is that? Does that sound better? Even lower. Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3. Does that sound better? Is the game volume too quiet now, maybe? Add quiet, but definitely better. Okay, cool. Let's tweak it a little bit more. Okay. Okay, for people that don't know what the game is at all, I mentioned that it's a physics game about floppy animals playing sports, but a little bit more context is that there are a bunch of different game modes in the game. So instead of just playing one sport, like a lot of local multiplayer games, you've got 5 different sports. I'll just jump into the quick play really quick to show that before I start adventure mode. So first you pick your characters, and there's, I think, 14 characters in the game. You start with most of them not unlocked, and then you unlock them as you play. And you start with all of the game modes unlocked, which is capture the flag, coins, soccer, paint, and sumo. And some of those are obvious. Sumo is like basically a death match where there's spikes all over the map and you're like knocking players on the spikes. Paintball is a lot like Splatoon, where you're painting the entire map by swinging around your head with the right stick, or there's a big ball that spawns and you can like kick the ball to hit and go hit stuff and like paint that stuff. Soccer is what you expect, just soccer. Coins is beating each other up with kicks like this or stomps like that, and that knocks out coins, and then you want to collect the coins. And then capture the flag is what you expect. There's, each team has a flag, and you have to like go grab it, bring it back to your base. Tomsul, the dev time was 3 years, but all of that except for about 7 months was part-time. So you could maybe say it was about 2 years full time. So yeah, there's 4 arenas. Each arena you can play all of these game modes. Tiny Tokyo is one of the arenas where you can like break buildings and you're playing in a big city. My favorite mode in the game, favorite mode to develop. My favorite mode is soccer, because I feel like I'm the best at soccer, and maybe the skill ceiling is the best in soccer. Like you can be the most good in soccer versus the other modes, but Capture the Flag is also pretty close if you're playing with like a group of, if you're playing 4-player and everybody playing is really good, Capture the Flag is really like, can be really intense also. The most fun mode to develop was probably paintball, just because it was like, it was basically me seeing Splatoon and Portal 2's like paint stuff and being really interested in how that worked technically and trying to see if I could make that happen. I'll pop in here. And so that was just, it's just like a fun technical problem to solve, and that was really fun. Is local multiplayer up to 4? It's actually up to 8 players. Sabby. Is that how you say your name, Sabby? Yeah, we could go up to 8. And if you played Smash, it's similarly like crazy as Smash 8-player, where it's like kind of so ridiculous that it is still competitive, but it's like more of a party mode than an actual like, we're gonna play this for real, have intense competitive matches, if that makes sense. My ball is lost. Nice. Thanks, Abby. Oh my god. If I lose, I'm gonna be extremely embarrassed.